then we capitalize on what we see. Wanna go to Pitville? Come join the Pip Academy and learn the Pip drill. Let's take the trip to Pitville.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? I want to welcome you back to my channel. And in this video, we're going to go over the weekly analysis for gold and also for Nas. This is the week of November 25th through the 29th, 2024. But one thing I want you guys to note, this is Thanksgiving week. So possibly the markets will be closed on Thursday and Friday of this week. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So currently we're on gold and we're on the weekly time frame. And as you guys can see, we had a full Maribozu on the weekly. And what I mean by this is there are no wicks. So it was nothing but bullish pressure this week on gold. And as you guys can see, we're coming back and actually approaching a weekly supply in this area right here. We had a doji possibly 3 weeks ago. The market tanked, and now we're getting a retest on this particular candle here, a perfect retest. So for me, just looking at market structure in this fashion, I'm expecting that gold will possibly drop this week and leading up into the first week of December, okay? And so one of the things I like to do is look at the OHLC models. And if you guys don't know what that is, so the OHLC models, it pretty much stands for open, high, low, close. And basically what that is, it looks at the anatomy of a candle, and it looks at when a candle was open. It looks at pretty much the highs, the lows, when it closed, and also the opposite holds true for a bullish candle as well, okay? So a lot of times I like to look at those models on the weekly, because if you guys will look at this video that I posted maybe a few days ago, it kind of gives an outline of how I look at the weekly and how you can possibly get swing trade opportunities and all of that type of thing, okay? So here are some of the weekly parameters that I have. And so right now, I'm looking for price to come up and possibly tap into this weekly area here. And then once we get a closure on the 4 hour below this area here, I want to look for some sort of retest. And so I'm looking for the market to pretty much do a lot of sales in the next couple weeks. Okay, so this is the weekly time frame here. If we switch over to the daily, I'll let you guys see this. So if we go over to the daily time frame, one of the things that we had on gold is initially we had bullish market structure, and then we got a break of structure right here. It changed characteristics, and as we can see, we're getting a retest that's possibly coming up into the supply zone here. So a couple things can happen. We can get a retest into this supply zone or this one here before the market decides to come down and take out this daily target and possibly target this daily demand zone here at the bottom, okay? And as you guys can see, that coincides with the retest on the weekly, and it kind of coincides with our levels that we have. So like I said, I'm looking for price to possibly come up into this area, give us some sort of rejection, and then we target to the downside, okay? And if we catch this right, we can see that, this is possibly, wow, that's about 1,400 pips that we can possibly catch on gold. All right, so like I said, in the coming weeks, I'll definitely be looking at gold for sales. And so I'm pretty much looking for gold to tap in either this supply zone or this supply zone on a smaller time frame, give me a transition to the downside, okay? If we look at the 4 hour time frame, one of the things that we can see is we got to change the character on the 4 hour last week. All right, it closed above this area, and so on the 4 hour it's going to possibly be due for a retest. However, following the higher time frame structure, I'm looking for price, like I said, to come up slightly and then us tank to the downside. All right, so I hope you guys follow gold. If you're not in our Discord, go ahead and join our Discord, or make sure you guys are tapped into our Discord, because I'm going to have alerts and everything set up on this. That way the entire team will understand and know when events and when things are happening on gold, okay? And so I'll post these analyses in gold as well. So now let's go ahead and shift over to Nas. All right, you guys. So looking at Nas from a weekly perspective, one of the things that we can see is Nas, it broke this structure here, okay? On a weekly time frame, it broke this structure here, which means that Nas has been bullish for quite some time. Hence, you can see the trend as price is going up in this fashion here, okay? So one of the things that we can see is we had a lot of bullish pressure from Nas, and then we got a retest into this demand zone right here, okay? We got a retest, and then price is looking like it wants to push to a higher point, okay? So that's what we're looking like on Nas as far as the weekly, all right? So now, if we look at this from an OHLC perspective, one of the things we want to do is analyze the previous candle, okay? And so we're looking at this current candle here that closed. So we'll go ahead and put for our low zone, I like to look for buys. Okay, I'll change this to weekly. In this area right here, this is where the weekly candle opened. I want to look for buys if it tap off of this and close above this area as well. And since this wick is small, I'll actually only do one zone in this area, which will be a sell zone. Okay. And I'll mark this as my high. And this is the weekly. All right. So here is the OHLC model for our weekly, what we'll be following, okay? All right, and another thing that we want to notate is that we understand that price tapped into this area here, this supply zone, this demand zone. This is our weekly. All right, and price will possibly, we'll see if price wants to go to the upside, but we can see that we had a nice bullish push, a retest, and then price decided to impulse from this demand zone. Okay, so this is our weekly time frame here. All right, so now let's break it down to our daily and see what we have. So if we can look at our daily structure, we want to make sure that we're in line with that. Okay, one of the things that we can see is that price was bullish for quite some time. Okay, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. We got a change of character, which broke this area here. Price came down in this fashion here, and then price decided to break this area again. And because of that, we're in a bullish trend pretty much at this particular point. All right. So this was our last daily high that was broken. This is daily liquidity in this area here. All right. Uh-oh. This is our daily low down in this area here. I'm just gonna mark this. This was liquidity here. I'm gonna mark this area here. Okay. That's our daily low. And this is our daily high in this area right here. Okay. And so you guys are wondering like, okay, why isn't this area here the daily structure that I'm looking at? It's because when you look at it, price broke structure in this area. However, we never got anything to give us any structure. This here is just a complex pullback and it dropped. Okay, and so anything in here is pretty much noise. And as we can see, when price broke this area, it came up and gave us a high that broke the high here. Okay, this here is a target, daily target. All right, so that's our structure for our daily. We are currently still bullish on the daily time frame. Hence, it coincides with our weekly time frame as well. Okay, all right. So now that we understand that, one of the things that we can do is come here and drop to the 4 hour and look at our 4 hour structure. That way we can get a little bit more intimate in with our structure and closer to the time frame in which we trade on. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove our 4 hour our daily. And let's look at this from a 4 hour perspective. Okay, so on the 4 hour, we can see, just from looking at the current structure, this is our high. Okay, on the 4 hour time frame, this is our 4 hour target. And this down here is our 4 hour protected area. Okay, so this is the 4 hour structure that we're working within. All right, and so if we look at the last few structural points, this is the 4 hour here. There's a 4 hour liquidity there. And price, let's see. Bam. Okay. This 4 hour structure here. Okay. This could be classified, but it never broke this low here. So let's see, low. We're gonna look at this one here. It's weird, you guys. It's extremely weird. So because it's weird and we have to think too much on that, we're just gonna look at this last structure here. That's all we pretty much need. And so this here, it coincides with, hold on one second. I'll delete this, don't need that. This is our 4 hour structure. All right. And so this coincides with our daily as well. All right, so right now, one of the things that we can see is that on this 4 hour, as it came up here, it already retraced, which looks like 50% or greater within our Fibonacci. Okay, and as you guys can see, it's already retraced in that area, which means that we want to drop down to a lower time frame and see if we got a transition to continue to the upside. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look. Let's drop to our 30 minute. So on our 30 minute, we can see that we are still bearish on the 30 minute. And I say that because if we look at this price, higher high, higher low, higher high, we end up getting a break of structure in this area here, okay, on our 30 minute time frame. And so this is the time frame that we like to establish our bias and that we actually trade from. Okay, this here in the middle was a liquidity grab. Pretty much liquidity was taken and it came up, but this is the actual structural break here because we got body closures in this area. Okay, so let's go ahead and follow the structure. Price came down and pulsed it to a high here. So we understand this point here was a 30 minute liquidity area here where price was taken. All right, so we had a high here, price came down. We had more than the 2 candle pullback. So we have another 30 minute liquidity area right here. Okay, price came down. If we look at this now where the market closed, this was our high. Price gave us a change of character on the 30 minute. And then after that change of character, what did price do? Price came all the way down to retest that, and then it decided to shoot to the upside. So right now, on the 30 minute, this is our low. Okay, so on the 30 minute, this is our protected area here, and this is our high here. On the 30 minute, we are bullish. Okay, we are bullish on the 30 minute. Uh-oh, let needs to be a target, 30-minute target. There we go. So right now, this is our structure for the 30-minute. And so as we can see, pretty much all time frames are aligned. And that's a good thing because that lets us know we don't have to look for sales at all on Nas. Okay, we don't have to look for sales. Every single time frame at this point is aligned with each other. Every single time frame is bullish, starting from the weekly all the way down to the 30-minute time frame. So let's look at this. Let me go ahead and make this my medium time frame, because this is the structure that I actually trade from. This was on the 4-hour here. Let's put our weekly first, daily, 4-hour. And I'm sorry, you guys, I'm impulsive and I like things to be in order. So that's what we're looking at. So right now, if we look at this, this Fibonacci situation here. This is H4. All right. Now I can take the fib off. All right. So if we look at this, you guys, let's start from the weekly. All right. We look at the weekly. We understand that we had price to tap into this demand zone and we got an impulse. Okay. Because if we go back to the weekly and we kind of look at structure, just to recap, this is 4-hour here. Just to recap, if we go back to the weekly, one of the things that we understand, we had a huge bullish push to the upside. We got a retest into this demand zone and we got a push. We got a nice impulse on the weekly from this weekly demand here. Okay. If we drop over to the daily, one of the things that we can see is that we're bullish on the daily as well. Okay, we broke this high here. We got a pullback. Price is starting to impulse to the top side. Okay, if we go to our 4-hour time frame, we can already see that price is bullish. Price decided to come up, give us a retracement into our 4-hour discounted area, and we started to get an impulse. If we drop to our medium time frame, we get the same reaction. Okay, let me remove this weekly so we can see. As we can see, price came down. It gave us a change of character, break of structure to the upside, gave us a retest into this area, and it's starting to impulse to the outside. So with this, because price is so high in our 30-minute time frame, one of the things that we want to look for is for price to give us another retracement. Once it breaks this area, we can possibly move this structure here. Take our Fibonacci tool to kind of measure and see where our 50% or greater will be. And when price come back to tap into that area, we can drop to a 5 or a 1 minute to pretty much ride structure all the way up to take out this 4-hour target. Okay. So to recap on Nas, we are completely bullish this week, you guys. Completely bullish. On gold, I'm looking for sales on gold. Okay. Let's remove this. I want to go to my daily because the daily shows a really good picture of what we're looking at going into this week. So I'm looking for sales on gold. We got a change of character on gold. Price is in a retesting phase. I'm looking for gold to tap into one of these 2 supply zones and then tank to the bottom and take out this daily target and possibly target this daily demand. Hey, you guys, I want to thank you for watching and I'll see y'all in the next video.
Then we capitalize on what we see. Wanna go to Pitville? Come join the Pip Academy and learn the Pip drill. Let's take the trip to Pitville.